Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of State Champs Chat. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Lauren.
And I'm Kiera.
Thanks for hanging out with us. Remember, this is your show, guys. We're going to talk about sports, what's trending, and you. So make sure to let us know what you want us to talk about. First, we're going to start with score or fumble this week, Kiera's favorite.
Yeah, we switched it up a little bit. Our big score or fumble today is Tom Brady. News broke yesterday that he was suspended for 4 games. Guys, do you think this was a score or fumble?
I think that it was a little bit of both, but I would have to say a fumble. I think that it was a little bit too harsh of punishment.
I could say it's both a score or a fumble. I mean, I could see for Patriots fans it would definitely be a fumble. They don't want to lose their starting quarterback. I mean, who even is the Patriots' backup? No one really knows because Tom Brady always plays. He's a great player.
Yeah.
But it is a score. I think Goodall made a good decision to definitely bring down the hammer on him, especially on such like a player that's in such a spotlight. You
Exactly.
know, like it's really, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it was a score. Like you said, he's a big figure in football, and if you do something that's unethical, you need to be punished for it. So I think he's setting the example.
So he was suspended for 4 games. The Pats were fined $1 million and lost their first-round draft pick, which is a big deal.
I think that actually is the most troublesome for them.
That's the kicker.
Losing their first-round draft pick. I mean, first-round draft picks, they usually are big impact players for the season, so I think that's going to be huge for them next season.
Yeah, the $1 million, it's tied for like the most an NFL team has been fined, but that's not really a big deal. The NFL makes so much money. I'm sure the Patriots won't miss that $1 million. But like I said, I think it was a score. I think it was harsh, but I think, cheating is harsh.
My issue is it was, when they originally came out last week, they said it was more probable than not that it happened and that he at least had some general awareness of deflating the balls. And I just think that there's been a lot of other cases, whether it's been domestic violence or a lot of other things in the NFL that they've been under scrutiny for in the past few months or year, and they haven't taken it this far. And so I guess it's good that they are putting their foot down on something, but at the same time it makes me feel like they should have done this a long time ago with a lot of other issues that have been present.
We're actually talking about domestic violence a little bit later in the show, so make sure you stay tuned. But my issue with that is domestic violence is horrible. It's definitely a character flaw, but that happens outside of the game. Tom Brady's issue was inside of the game, and it could have, they won by a stretch, but it could have affected the outcome of the game. We don't know that, we'll never know that, and they won the Super Bowl. So even though domestic violence is huge and, it's not apples to apples to me. That happened outside of the game, this is inside the game, and it could have affected who won the Super Bowl.
Interestingly enough, when he comes back, they are facing the Colts, which is who they beat in the AFC Championship. So that is going to be an intense game, his first game back.
Very intense game. And
I wonder if that was kind of perfect timing.
Intentional.
Yeah, that's probably going to be a well-being
4 games
game.
instead of 5 games or something.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I think Goodall definitely made a good decision by putting down the hammer
He
on Tom Brady.
has 3 days to appeal, so I think he still has 1 or 2 more days left. I don't think he's going to appeal.
No, well, at first, his publicist, or I forgot,
his
agent said that they were going to appeal. But I also heard that a lead investigator on this case said that Tom Brady was not compliant to the investigation. He didn't let them have the text messages or whatever. He was very combative in that process, which goes against what his agent said. So you don't really want to dig too much. Take a
People were saying he doesn't have that much to lose, though, if he appeals it. Like, he's already in big trouble, so if he appeals it, what does he have to lose?
More credibility. Right now,
so.
like you said, it's more probable than not, but if they go into it and it shows that he did it, then he definitely is a cheater.
No. And the fact that he is being so hesitant to the investigation really it kind of, I don't know, puts him in a bad light too.
And like what I was saying, take a lesson from Pacquiao. He lost the fight and then was like, oh, but my arm is hurt, and now he's in bigger trouble. Tom Brady, take the loss,
take 1
4 games and just keep on moving. But we have another score fumble. High school coaches are now going to be required to know CPR, to be registered CPR people. And this would only be for varsity head coaches. Ladies, do you think this is a score or fumble?
I think this is a definite score. I mean, who knows what's going to happen during the course of a game. It's always good to have someone that's qualified there. And I think it helps protect the players. It helps, I don't know, I think it just helps all around.
Yeah, this is beginning in the 2015-16 season. The MHSAA is who just came out and said that they want all varsity coaches to be CPR certified. And I think it's a great thing because more often than not these days there is things that happen on the court. Players get injured, players lose consciousness. I think it's a good thing to always have somebody there.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a score. You know, somebody who knows how to protect somebody's child is always a good thing.
Right.
You would only have to take the test every 2 years, and it can be anywhere from 2 to 5 hours. So it's not a huge commitment. It's not like they're going to have to go to some weekly seminar. One-time thing, coaches have the ability to do that. So definite score for all of us to make all you high school athletes healthier out
And
there.
let us know what you want to be our score or fumble this week and what you thought about either of these. We want your opinion too, guys, so make sure to tweet at us and let us know. Next, we are going to talk about what's trending. Now, playoffs are trending all over the place.
Woo.
Hockey, basketball, all over. I feel like everyone is just constantly watching playoffs the past few weeks.
Especially with how exciting these games have been.
Oh my
you
gosh,
know?
yeah.
So one of the most exciting things that happened this weekend, Friday and Sunday, were the Cavs-Bulls playoff games. And on Friday, Derrick Rose had a buzzer beater to beat the Cavs. And on Sunday, LeBron came right back and had a buzzer beater to beat the Bulls at the last minute. And then once again, the Cavs won last night. So now the Cavs are up in the series.
Yeah, they're up 3-2, and I mean, I think they're two really exciting games. The fans are so in it.
Can you imagine like the feel in the stadiums like for a buzzer beater? Like, oh my gosh, it had to be so awesome.
And LeBron and Derrick Rose have both been key players on both the Bulls and the Cavs. So that's huge. Especially Irving has been out for the Cavs, so that's been really key.
And I mean, LeBron, he's basically built like a football linebacker. He's a huge guy. He's massive. That's what makes him so powerful on the court. He's able to plow through people like it's nothing, you know? So he was able to knock a guy down, make the lay. Like he's just such an incredible player.
I'm impressed because I think when he first came back to the Cavs, he didn't even expect them to make the playoffs this year. He said, I know we have a lot of work to do, and now here they are, and they're supposed to beat the Bulls on Thursday. Go Bulls, I'm from Chicago, if you guys didn't know. But it's surprising for his first season back on the Cavs.
And he's definitely leading the team, too. I mean, he's just such a powerhouse player.
I was just going to mention that he's leading the team. He said that the coach wanted him to like go out of bounds or like pass the ball. I can't remember exactly what it was, but he took the shot and he made it. So I don't know.
Yeah, he said like, I'm not letting this one go. I knew I wanted to do it.
He's calling the shots above the coach now, so we'll see. But it worked out, so I guess the coach can't be too mad.
Now it is time for our Athlete of the Week. On this week's show, we chose Stephanie Lambeth, pole vaulter from Frankenmuth, Michigan. Now, congratulations.
Steph.
Make sure to send us your nominations for Athlete of the Week. Stephanie is a pole vaulter, and she will be heading to South Florida to be on their track team.
That's a huge vault all the way from Michigan to South Florida.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Yes. And she broke the Saginaw County pole vault record at 12 feet and 4 inches. And she said she started her freshman year of high school.
And by her sophomore year, she'd already like tied her school record. So from
Which
the
is
get-go,
crazy.
she was going.
Yeah.
But I was also about her, she was a gymnast. So that's where she gets her core strength from. And she's still a gymnast. So Stephanie's killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she also went to the New Balance Indoor Nationals on March 15th in New York and placed 13th in the country.
Which is great for her.
Yeah,
Michigan girl, 13th in the country.
Yeah,
You rock,
doing big
Steph.
things. Now we're going to continue talking about some high school sports. We're going to talk about recruiting. And University of Michigan, we've talked a lot about Harbaugh and big things that have been around recruiting at Michigan. And they already have 4 NCAA violations.
I know. Maybe it's just because Harbaugh doesn't know the rules compared to the NFL.
Let's just say that. He doesn't know.
I mean, we're big Michigan fans, so we always want to think the best, but they did give out free stuff. They gave out recruiting information via social media. They gave out good seats to the Michigan hockey games.
They donated to a high school fundraiser.
Exactly.
Here's the thing. I don't think Michigan is doing things that other schools aren't doing, but
They're
the
under scrutiny.
spotlight is so on them. Like, why even just don't go
Well,
there?
I believe they reported it themselves.
Yeah.
But the NCAA typically doesn't give out that harsh of punishments, so I guess it's good that they were forthcoming about it rather than getting in more trouble later. We don't want to see any Ohio State
Scandals.
situations, any scandals in recruiting that could seriously affect their recruiting class or anything. So
we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, you know, he'll just walk on eggshells, get his first like year or two in, and then do what all the other teams do.
Even since last year, Michigan's always been under the microscope, so I think it's really good that they self-reported that, especially with Harbaugh. I mean, everyone loves Harbaugh. No one really does. I mean, you either love him or you hate him. He's a great coach, though. Yeah. So I think that that's good that they did that.
Speaking of Michigan, staying with Michigan, they have an outstanding softball program, and a young girl from Saline, Morgan Overitis, and when I say young, I mean 15 years old. Freshman is getting offers from Michigan. What do you guys think about that?
I think that's
awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. Great for her. I mean, verbal commitment, it's not binding, but at the same time, I think it's awesome. They said she has great speed. She's good on the bat. She is just an all-around package, and I think they're recruiting her not as pitching, but as shortstop, which is really good.
Can you imagine being 15 years old and already getting offers? She said it was her dream school, basically, and getting offers from University of Michigan, and they have one of the top softball programs in the country. They're outstanding.
They're very, very good softball team.
We kind of talked about this in a previous webcast, how early is too early to recruit. Freshman is really early, and we kind of discussed last time it could go either positive or negative. Either it'll give them that encouragement to push harder and to continue to go to that school, or it could, you know, they could crack under the pressure. So let's just hope that she, you know, goes on the positive side, and in 4 years she'll be able to go to Michigan. Good luck.
University of Michigan also just got a huge basketball commitment this week, guys. A top 10 overall in 2016, Tyrus Battle out of New Jersey.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I mean, he's a 6'6" player, 200 pounds. He's really, really big, and he's a playmaker. That's what they're saying. He's this huge playmaker that we've been missing since Trey Burke.
Yeah, and last weekend, Michigan hosted the 5-star player, and contrary to popular belief, everyone kind of thought that Duke and Louisville were ahead of Michigan in the game, and after his visit on Monday, he said, nope, going to Michigan.
Yeah, he said he fell in love with the place, which is so cool.
Their first 5-star commitment since McGarry. So this is huge for Michigan. Maybe Michigan basketball is coming back. They didn't do big things this year.
I know, and I think Beeline's doing a great job recruiting. Apparently their 2016 class is going to be a powerhouse class, and they're supposed to make big moves in the Big Ten and in the
And
standings.
I mean, the new Chrysler Arena is pretty awesome, so if he visited that, got to meet Beeline's awesome. I don't blame him for, you know, changing his mind once he got to Michigan and fell in love with it.
Exactly. I think that he's going to do big things there, and I think it's a good fit for him. Definitely.
Awesome. Well, now it is time for our Hot Topics segment. Make sure to send us what you guys want to talk about in this section. And we're going to talk about concussions briefly again. This was a hot topic of ours a couple weeks ago. I know I take a lot of personal interest in it, having had 3 serious concussions in high school. But this video was posted this past week, and there was a collision between 2 soccer players that caused an 8-minute delay in the game. He was bleeding, terrible collision, you can see in the video. And why does this keep happening? He went back into the game.
I don't know. I mean, he's bleeding profusely from his head.
Yeah.
And they're both on the ground, rolling around, obviously wreathing in pain.
Yeah.
Which is, I just think it's ridiculous that they went back in the game.
Well, the Football Association, which is the governing body for English football, just created a new protocol saying that a player must be checked out by a team doctor in order to be sent back into the game. So, but the commentators of this game were questioning, you know, was he really cleared? Because he looks a little funny running out there, and he looked a little shaken up after he went back in the game. I mean, that was a serious collision. For it to cause that big of a delay in the game, I can't believe that he went back in.
And I think they said after halftime they did take him out and put a substitution in, so maybe him and other people noticed that he was a little bit wobbly, but you shouldn't risk that.
Right.
I feel for athletes. I know you want to get out there, but your health is so important.
And brain injuries are just so serious. I mean, it's what makes your body function. So I think that's just something that needs to be taken more seriously.
And the lasting effects have become more and more serious now that we're finding even more information about them. So our next hot topic today is a little bit controversial. We're going to talk about domestic violence. It's been huge in college and the NFL. And first we're going to talk about Frank Clark, who went to Michigan.
A fellow Michigan graduate playing for the Seahawks now. Apparently, he was involved in a domestic violence scandal with his girlfriend in a hotel, and the hotel manager actually came up to him and confronted him about it because she was comforting his girlfriend's siblings, and they're saying, oh, his boyfriend, my sister's boyfriend's hitting him in the face, and Frank Clark apparently said to this hotel manager, I'm gonna hit you like I hit her.
And he was kicked off of Michigan's team for charges of this in the past, and apparently the Seahawks are still saying that it didn't happen.
Yeah, they're standing by the fact that it didn't happen. I feel like the NFL, they're kind of trying to maintain an image. And there was a list that I saw. Actually, the Seahawks had 6 players who were charged with domestic violence, but actually only one of them was found guilty.
Yeah, Frank Clark, charges were reduced to a 25-week domestic violence awareness course and a $200 or $300 fee. So,
and they actually just released the dash cam video from that incident. He wasn't shown in the video, but obviously his voice was, and he was kind of saying, like, look at my face, I didn't do anything, da, 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 da. So, you know, he denied it.
It's interesting.
It happened over a year ago, and it resurfaced because he was, you know, taken back by the Seattle Seahawks. So one of those touchy issues with how the NFL is handling morality issues, really. Is it more than just a game?
Another recent draft that has been under the spotlight is Jameis Winston.
Erica Kinsman filed a lawsuit against him. She's been very vocal about it, saying that he actually raped her. And that happened about a year ago as well.
Yeah,
no, that was 2012.
She
2012.
accused him of
Yeah.
sexual battery, assault, and false imprisonment. And Florida State did a big investigation on it. And now he is suing her.
Exactly. I mean, Jameis Winston's just been one of those players that has been in the spotlight. I mean, between stealing crab legs from a grocery store, rape, you know, I mean, there's just so many things that are against him. People either love him or hate him. He's a great football player, but at the same time, off the field, his problems have been getting him a lot of attention in the media.
Yeah, well, the thing is, she accused him of rape in 2012. The charges were dropped. So that's important. He wasn't charged, you know, they were dropped. He was cleared of all charges in 2014, just recently, and then this April, right before the draft came out, she charged him with sexual battery, false imprisonment, all that kind of stuff. And then since then, he's put out a counterclaim saying, you know, she's just beating up his character. Whether he did it or not, we don't know, but that's, you know, really harsh timing, and I don't know the situation, but I feel for him if this woman is just like,
and so what we wanted to talk about is the NFL's response to all of this.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the charges were dropped, so we don't know what's going on. So it's hard for them to react if you don't know.
I feel personally that the NFL kind of tries to cover things up a little bit. I mean, especially with the whole Ray Rice incident last year. We've all seen the video. We all know how intense that was. And the NFL didn't do anything about it. Goodell kind of let it slide under the rug. He was barely charged with anything until the video came out.
And this is my issue back to the Tom Brady thing isn't it more probable than not in some of these cases that the domestic violence occurred? So why aren't they suspending players when these women come forth, and even if there's no proof in it, if it's more probable than not that it happened, which it was more probable than not that the Patriots deflated the footballs, where's the difference? Where do you draw the line? And I know you said personal life versus the game, but I do think it's interesting how the NFL has been responding.
I do too, and I think actually, which is really funny, so the Clark thing got brought back up, but it was kind of buried under the rug by the Patriots scandal, by Deflategate scandal, and everything that's been going on with that recently. So it's kind of these two things battling it out between personal and on the field, and exactly what Stephanie said, where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem that I think a lot of people are having with the NFL is that they seem to be on the defense instead of offense. They're not like actively trying to, you know, figure these things out. It's like, oh, once it comes out, then what are we going to do about it? So I think they just need a change in their systems. They have to I do think that players should be held to a certain standard. You know, if they're charged with a domestic case, then they need to be suspended. Something needs to happen, but you can't suspend them off of allegations. So,
speaking of domestic violence, the Cavs posted this promotional video they played it in their stadium during playoffs, where it shows a Cavs guy dancing around the kitchen, a Cavs fan dancing around the kitchen with his girlfriend who has an apron on. She takes off the apron, she has a Bulls shirt on, and he picks her up and throws her.
Yeah, and it's all like kind of funny because afterwards she's holding ice on her head, and you know, it's kind of like, oh, sorry, I didn't know you were a Bulls fan.
Yeah. I think they're trying to kind of make light of such a serious issue, which is, I don't think.
Do you think they meant to? I think they meant it
they thought about
as
it.
funny thing, and in light of all this domestic violence awareness that's been happening, everyone was like, whoa, Cavs, you can't just promote domestic violence or show domestic violence in a promotional video. That's not cool, and everyone kind of went off on them. They took the video down, they had posted it, they took it down, and I think it was bad timing. I don't think they meant it. However, really bad job by their marketing team on that one.
It was definitely meant to be funny, but
I can see where you guys are coming from, and they issued an apology just in case they did offend anyone.
Yeah.
Which I mean, it was coming out in like the wrong time, I
wrong
guess.
time,
but
yeah.
you know, I don't know. I think
Sorry,
it was
Cass.
lighthearted.
I know.
Good try, but wasn't quite the right timing on that one.
No.
Coming up on State Champs this week, we're going to be celebrating Red Nose Day. It is Thursday, May 21st, so it's not for another week or so. But this Sunday on State Champs on Fox Sports Detroit, we're celebrating Red Nose Day. We think it's a really great cause.
Yes, Red Nose Day. Every red nose, they're sold at Walgreens, and for every red nose bought, it goes towards children in poverty around the world, which I think is a great cause. There's people like Heidi Klum and everyone else like that. They're all coming together, you know, to support this.
Yeah, it's been a great cause. NBC has partnered with them on it, and it was awesome. So we wanted to take part in it and tell you guys about it and spread the word. So make sure that you're celebrating it a week from tomorrow, Red Nose Day. It's going to be awesome.
Make sure you stop in at Walgreens and pick up yours today.
If you can find them. We're also going to have a feature this week on State Champs about the growth of rugby. Ryan Terpstra dives into it on the west side of the state, and that's going to be a really cool feature, so make sure to check it out. And as always, we'll have an update on our UAW Chrysler Baseball Player of the Year contest, as well as our lacrosse and softball Player of the Year contest. So make sure to check that out, and we will see you next time. Remember, this is your show. It's about you, sports, and what's trending, so send us your ideas.
Bye, guys.
Bye.